Thank you, DMP, for inviting me here to speak tonight. You all know my name is Billy Croan, and I plan to begin my first term as Merriam Mayor this January with everyone's support and at the polls between now and November 4th. Flood is an awfully small word to mean so very many things to many people. In the last century, our city had a history of flooding. 6 major floods devastated our city over that last century, and we have 4 parks today in our city that exist because of those homes and businesses destroyed by flooding. The 1900s were a rough time if you lived near Turkey Creek or worked near Turkey Creek. Today it's 2025 and the waters have receded, so to speak. It has been nearly 30 years since the last significant flood, and we are nearly a quarter away through the 21st century without one of any comparable scale to what had happened before. Last month, on Thursday, July 17th, record-breaking precipitation occurred here. For 12 hours straight, we had very heavy, solid rain without a break. Everything became saturated, the creek rose. In the morning, I went out to see just how bad it had gotten in our town. Streets were wet, trees were down, power was out, and there was certainly mud in the gutters, but not one business was damaged in downtown Merriam. Ask around, they're represented here. Turkey Creek was high and fast and furious, but downtown Merriam fared well. Outside downtown Merriam, there was some property damage north of Waterfall Park and far outside the area targeted by the plans of our current city administration. So why do these plans target downtown Merriam specifically? Why focus on fixing a problem in an area that it does not occur? I believe the truth is that the so-called flood mitigation plans are not about flood mitigation at all, but about creating an excuse to funnel unprecedented levels of tax money and use eminent domain to deliver land to the administration's favored developers. As has happened time and time again in our city, our current administration intends to pick the winners and losers and award tax dollars to those that the administration wants to win. But there's a problem. The land that they want to give away is rightfully owned by dozens of small businesses in our community. Over the last 3 years, I have watched the current administration as they systemically use tax dollars to buy and bulldoze businesses in our downtown district and elsewhere throughout the city. I've been keeping track. I go to all the council meetings. I've got a spreadsheet of this. The current administration incentivizes the free market, or intervenes in the free market, and decides which businesses will lose their buildings and which will lose their land. When government is literally choosing the winners and losers, we are all in trouble. The Merriam City Administrator's July 17th claim that downtown Merriam Drive was completely underwater after that storm is misleading and inaccurate due to omission of critical facts. While isolated flooding did occur on 52nd Street, Turkey Creek itself did not reach a single downtown Merriam business. Effective city leadership must prioritize actual flooding in the areas that it really occurs, rather than promoting a plan of commercial redevelopment under the guise of widespread flooding. As mayor, I will direct our attention to the areas that we know actually do flood, like the warehouse parking lot north of Waterfall Park, the undersized stormwater drains under Merriam Drive in that same area that contribute to it, and the railroad bridge that so obviously bottlenecks Turkey Creek, causing water to back up in Merriam. Lowering the creek bed itself is also an obvious solution that I've heard time and time again from neighbors as I've been speaking over the last couple months. Our city must also petition FEMA to correct the floodplain maps, decades-old maps. Litigation might be expensive, but it will be less than the $150 million projected just to finance the demolition and grading of historic downtown Merriam. And that's not to say how much it will cost to replace the bridges, the streets, the sewers, electric, streetlights, all that stuff. That's extra cost. We must also stop penalizing our downtown Merriam businesses with excessive code requirements that hamstring their growth and even the very maintenance of their existing buildings. Many small local businesses are prohibited by the very city government that their tax money supports from doing significant work on their property because they're in this fictitious floodplain and because of the previous residential use in that area. Even new businesses face extraordinary resistance to opening their doors in our city. Look no further than Terra Mejeras, who have been trying to open where Anita's once served our community for years. The same type of business as a restaurant. They've been dealing with municipal red tape for months now, and it's a real shame that Merriam's current administration is working against the very sorts of businesses that our residents and neighbors so dearly want to see more of in downtown Merriam. As mayor, I will direct our codes department to trust the professional engineers and licensed contractors hired by Merriam businesses, unless the codes department can articulate direct and obvious evidence of an actual violation that endangers safety. I would like them to stand out of the way and allow progress and prosperity in our historic downtown. Our small, local business district will thrive and prosper on its own merits when the current administration stops pushing them down and depressing the area with uncertainty. It is about time that our city administration works for the residents and for our local small businesses, not against them. It is long overdue. My name is Billy Croan, and I am proud to be on the ballot this November 4th to support my community's prosperity as the small town we proudly call home. Thank you. And if anyone has any questions, I've got a map and some other references.